Contents. Dedicated to. With deep devotion and humble gratitude. Benediction. Preface. About the author. Chapter 1. A God-realized soul. Question 1.1. How a seeker of the Absolute Truth, a spiritual aspirant or sadhaka, knows that he has finally found a God-realized, the most appropriate guru he was searching for? Chapter 2. Life Force, Divine Light and Supreme Romance. Question 2.1. What is life force? How does and when life force become the divine light? Question 2.2. What is the benefit for revolving the life force through all the chakras number of times through the Sushumna Nadi in the spinal cord or system? Question 2.3. Why a spiritual aspirant or sadhaka sometimes needs to rub his skull and apex center during meditation when he feels the presence of the light in the apex center under the skull? Question 2.4. Why the sadhaka or spiritual aspirant starts sometimes recitation of sacred mantra automatically when the light tends to strike the apex center or Sahasrara Chakra but unable to cross and merge with the supernal? Question 2.5. What is divine romance? And where does it lead? Question 2.6. From Vishuddhi Chakra onwards, what path the life force or divine light must follow for mergence with the supernal for a spiritual aspirant or sadhaka to be in a blessed state? Chapter 3. Mind, its location in human body and means to control it. Question 3.1. What is mind? Where is it located in a human body or form and how does one ultimately control it? Chapter 4. Fate and its control. Question 4.1. What is the fate? Can one's own fate be controlled by efforts if so desired? Chapter 5. Stresses and crises of life. Question 5.1. How one can control the stresses due to one's own crisis in his life? Chapter 6. Shwet Bindu or white point and Rakt Bindu or red point. Question 6.1. What is the basic concept of Shwet Bindu or white point and Rakt Bindu or red point? Chapter 7. Mantra, Yantra and Tantra. Question 7.1. What one should understand by mantra, Yantra and Tantra? And what is their role in our life? Question 7.2. What is the significance of Tantra and where does Tantra lead? Chapter 8. Pranic energy, personality transformation and happiness. Question 8.1. How the change of personality takes place in human being. Is it possible to achieve the stable change of personality transformation without the control of pranic energy? Question 8.2. What are happiness and how one can achieve the maximum happiness in his life? Question 8.3. What is the essence of prana and its final destination in the lifespan of human form? And how great heroes of Ramayana are in mysterious ways depict essence of pranic energies and their correlation with pranic ascendance in the human form leading towards the emergence. Chapter 9. Udaana Praana, Mind, Breath and Divine Light. Question 9.1 By generating the Udaana Praana one can ascend pranic energy up to Ajna Chakra and beyond. Is it possible by merely observing breath and by its cessation thereby? A spiritual aspirant or sadhaka can reach up to Ajna Chakra and beyond? Question 9.2 Mind needs to be negated for ascending of Udaana Praana or life force, but in horizontal plane mind must be full of awareness. This pendulum swinging of mind between unawareness required in ascending for vertical travel and full awareness needed for worldly activities creates misery to sadhaka living in the horizontal plane. What then must he do? What is the remedy to deal with this critical situation? Question 9.3 As the Udaana Praana ascends and transforms into divine light at the Ajna Chakra and goes up to Sahasrara, then the question arises, is it possible that the divine light from the cosmos after descending through apex center downward can combined with the Udaana Praana or life force? Question 9.4 Why suddenly the mind of spiritual aspirant or sadhaka gets disturbed? Is it because of extra-sensitive perception of his mind? Question 9.5 What precisely happens to life force or divine light after the Akula Chakras? Chapter 10. Aum, Technique and Dhyana Meditation. Question 10.1 What is the Aum technique? How this technique must be followed for self-realization? Question 10.2 What is dhyana or meditation and preparation needed on physical and mental planes to commence it? Where meditation does finally lead? Question 10.3 What is Sandhya and what happens during Sandhya period, that is time interval between breath exaltation and inhalation? Question 10.4 Out of the various techniques of dhyana or meditation, that is Udaana Praana technique, Aum technique and Sandhya Gayatri technique, which technique should be followed? Or, sadhaka or spiritual aspirant can follow any technique depending on his system needs and his own mental and physical throbbing or vibrations. Chapter 11. Type of breaths, tranquil breath and their importance. Question 11.1 What are the different types of breaths and their effect on the human system? Question 11.2 What are tranquil breath and how one gets and maintains it? What is the purpose and benefits of tranquil breath to a spiritual aspirant or sadhaka? Question 11.3 How to generate tranquil breath in the system for the spiritual evolution? Chapter 12. Lord Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti and his Tattva. Question 12.1 What are the backgrounds, religious importance and significance of multidimensional worship able Lord Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti? What is Dakshinamurti Tattva? Chapter 13. Self, Soul or Atma, Kundalini Power, Udaana Praana, Jivatma and their role in spiritual evolution. Question 13.1 What is self? What is soul or Atma and Jivatma? What is the basic difference among self, soul and Jivatma? Why there is a lot of ambiguity in the literature on the use of these terms? Question 13.2 What is the role of Kundalini power, Udaana Praana, Jivatma and Atman or soul in the spiritual evolution of a spiritual aspirant or sadhaka? Question 13.3 Why there are number of pitfalls in yoga sadhana or spiritual practices for the beginners, particularly when the life force or Udaana Praana tries to ascend from the lower chakras, namely Muladhara and Svadhisthana. Chapter 14. Pranas, their role and vertical travel of prana for self-realization. Question 14.1 What are the various types of pranas and their role in self-realization? At the time of death, which are the locations by which the prana can leave the physical body? And on what condition these locations depend? Question 14.2 is, if possible, to increase prana by simple relaxation technique? Are the yoga practices being necessary to increase prana shakti for pursuing meditation? Question 14.3 Why most of the people are scared for the vertical travel to take the higher spiritual path for the self-enlightenment? Chapter 15. Meditation and astral body. Question 15.1 Is it advisable to enter the stage of meditation through astral body? Chapter 16. Maya or illusion and its role. Question 16.1 What are Maya and its role in spiritual evolution? How a sadhaka or spiritual aspirant for his spiritual journey must deal with the Maya. Question 16.2 How a sadhaka can conceive and understand the role and scope of Maya or illusion in this mundane world. Chapter 17. Silence and its significance. Question 17.1 What is silence? How one can achieve silence to be peaceful and happy? Question 17.2 How the silence is governed? What are factors that influence silence of human mind? Chapter 18. Life beyond death. Question 18.1 What is the mystery of life beyond death? Subtopic 18.2 Experience of death in life. Subtopic 18.3 Death within life. Subtopic 18.4 Simultaneous existence of life and death in the life. Subtopic 18.5 Existence of life in death. Subtopic 18.6 Real experience of death. Subtopic 18.7 Mysterious relation of Sandhya with life or death. Subtopic 18.8 Possibility of birth as a human being after the death.